Hi everyone, this is Pam, the Arctic Firefly, and some of you might remember, if you're longtime blog followers, which I shouldn't even say long time because my blog's not that old, but some may recall that a while back I showed some big wooden letters that I had done for my daughter's name. I didn't do a tutorial on them, they were just pictures, but I did promise that in the future I would do a tutorial on how to cover those big wooden letters with paper. So I also showed, when I showed, I did a video on my craft room, and I did a separate video with show me what's inside those drawers, because I had some people email me saying, hey, we want to see what's inside those drawers. Well, I believe that I showed you already these wooden, they're not really wooden, they're more like a really heavy styrofoam or fiberglass is the word I was searching for. But I got these at Joann's and they were on clearance, so they were about $1 a piece. And I got 4 of these skulls and I got 2 of these little guitars. And they have little adhesive strips on the back so you can hang them on, your walls or whatever. So I'm going to show you how I did those big wooden letters. What I have here are some pieces of paper, a couple pieces of scrap, and a sheet of pink plaid. Some may know that my craft room is kind of color themed. Well, it's kind of themed, period. And these pink, black, purple, and lime green are sort of the colors that I've been using. So I think what I'm going to do is I have 4 of these skulls and 2 of the guitars. I think I'm going to do 2 star skulls, a purple skull, a pink skull, and both of the guitars in the green. So we will first do one of the guitars, and what we're going to use is some matte luster Mod Podge and a little foamy, whatever they're called, little foamy brushes. So we're going to take our Mod Podge, brand new container of Mod Podge here. So we're going to go ahead and pop it open. Oh, that's a nice little sticky mess there. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use the side that does not have the adhesive. So we'll just dab our sponge in there. And there are other ways to do this. My way is not the way. So we'll just put a thin layer of Mod Podge on there like this. And then we're going to take our paper, obviously, we're going to flip it upside down, and then we'll just lay our item right on top, just like that. And we are going to let that dry. And while that's drying, we will do the black paper for our skull shape. So same thing, dip it in the Mod Podge. You're going to want to apply a thin layer on there. You don't need that much because it's, Mod Podge is glue. So your paper is going to stick on there regardless. And then don't worry if some, oozes over the edge, because we are going to get rid of that later. Alright, so we'll take the skull and we'll go ahead and set that right on top of our paper. So we're going to go ahead and let that dry and do the remaining shapes, and we will be back. Okay, we are back, and now I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. I'm going to show you cutting out our shapes that we Mod Podge paper on. So they're nice and dry. They've actually been, they've been sitting here for hours and hours and hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my craft knife here. Honestly, these curved blades they don't work that well. The only reason I have them is because that's all my general store had. The ones that have the pointy tips work a whole lot better. These are just too curved. So, seeing what I can going around the camera here, we're gonna cut along the edges of our shapes, just right along the edge. And that's gonna remove the paper. Some of you might find this to be a little bit easier. I know that some people sometimes go along the outside of it and cut it, but I honestly, this is just much easier for me to do it this way. Okay, so let's get our and because it's paper, you don't really need to apply a whole lot of force to it. It'll come up. And straights is already better, so that's how you do that. And then, you know, you could go along the edges and, you know, clean them up just a little bit. But here is one of the skulls that I've done. As you can see, I've already got the paper all cut off. This one has a lot more twists and curves and turns, so it took a little bit longer than the guitars. So I will go ahead and let's zoom back out. And for the next step, once your shape has been, you know, or letter, whatever, has been all the way cut out and you cleaned up your edges a little bit, then you're going to take your Mod Podge again and your foam brush, and you're going to put a layer right on top. And you can put, you know, quite a few layers on here, but you have to let it dry at least 15 minutes per Mod Podge instructions in between each layer. And trust me, I've not let them dry in between layers and regretted it. It really pulls up different parts of the layers, and it can cause wrinkles. There is a reason that they tell you to wait. And I want all of my Mod Podge all going in the same direction. And honestly, that's it. I mean, you can decorate it a little bit, you know, if you wanted to add, I might add, you know, a ribbon on here, or I want to look cute with a little ribbon. So there's my first layer for this one, and I have another one here that I can do. You gotta be careful when your paper's drying, because I had some places where the glue ran over the edge and got under, and when I pulled my shape up off of the table, it ripped a little bit. So that's how you do the shapes, letters, you know, letters, shapes, whatever it is with the Mod Podge and the paper. And regular paper works a whole lot better than cardstock. It's just easier to stick on there. And so I hope everybody has a very crafty day, and you give this a try. You can do it with all sorts of stuff, you know, paper mache even. It works. It's awesome. It works great. I love it. So thank you for watching.